Stunning radio transmission by astronaut John Glenn when dozens of UFOs surrounded his craft. John Glenn said, "They're all over the sky. This is Friendship 7. I will try to describe what I'm living at this moment. I'm in the middle of a large mass of very small, bright particles as if they were luminescent. I never saw anything like that. They are rounded up a bit. They come through the capsule and look like stars. The whole rain of them I see." And you could take a look at this incredible audio file. We can hear the astonishment of astronaut John Glenn after his capsule was surrounded by countless strange UFOs. The audio transmission can easily be described as one of the most surprising evidence of mysterious extraterrestrial presence during manned space missions. This audio file allows us to hear the small part of the conversation between the Mercury Atlas 6 MA6 capsule, piloted by John Glenn, and Capcom, February 20th, 1962, the first manned orbital mission in the United States. It was launched from Cape Kennedy Space Center, Florida. It completed a successful 3-orbital mission around Earth, reaching a maximum altitude of about 162 land miles at an orbital speed of about 17,500 miles per hour. That's basically as fast as an asteroid. The Mercury spacecraft Friendship 7 landed in the vicinity of Grand Turk Island. The duration of the mission from launch to impact was 4 hours, 55 minutes, 23 seconds. In the audio file, John Glenn referred to his capsule as Friendship 7 and can be heard describing what a bright blue horizon looks like behind him as the sun rises, and then suddenly he realizes that something peculiar is happening around him, since he's intercepted by innumerable UFOs that wrapped his capsule. And this is a transcript of the event. John Glenn, this is Friendship 7. It's blinding. I'm blinded by the range, the clear range. It started just when I gave that mark. I go to the dark filter so to see it appear. Capcom, Roger. John Glenn, this is Friendship 7. I will try to describe what I'm seeing here. It looks like a large mass of very small particles, which are brightly lit as if they were luminescent. I never saw anything like that. They are rounded up a bit. They come through the capsule and look like little stars, a whole rain of them coming towards me. John Glenn again. They revolve around the capsule, so they go in front of the window. They're all brightly lit, probably averaging maybe 7 or 8 feet away, but I can also see them all below me. Intrigued by the events, Capcom asked Glenn to describe the objects and if they were impacting his spaceship. Capcom, Roger. Friendship 7, can you hear any impact with the capsule? Short. John Glenn, negative. They are very slow. They will not drive me further than 3 or 4 miles an hour. They are going at the same speed that I am, approximately. They are only way below my speed. Short. John Glenn, yes, they have different movement from me because they swirl around the capsule and they move away along the path I'm looking for. And John Glenn says, are you receiving? Short, they are literally thousands of them. After describing the objects, Glenn receives no response from Capcom and wonders if he's in contact with anyone while continuing to talk about the strange objects around his spaceship. John Glenn, this is Friendship 7. Am I in contact with someone? Short. Eventually, almost 5 minutes after describing the events, Capcom responds saying that Glenn sounded a bit confusing and was asked what his oxygen levels were. Strangely, Capcom did not address the strange events with Glenn, who explained that the mysterious particles are still around the spacecraft, and after realizing that Capcom does not respond, Glenn decided to photograph the mysterious objects. Then Capcom asks how large the particles were and if they are moving or floating with it. Capcom suggested that the particles may have come from the spacecraft, but Glenn said that this was not the case. Interestingly, after the successful orbit of Friendship 7, another astronaut aboard capsule Aurora 7, named Scott Carpenter, also saw mysterious objects in space. NASA scientists eventually observed the mystery and concluded that the objects seen in space were just ice particles trapped by sunlight. NASA claimed that ice had accumulated on the outside of the capsule and that what the two astronauts saw was ice particles floating freely. However, Mr. Glenn was not convinced by the explanation. During his second orbit, he reported seeing the objects again in miles in each direction. So, what was this? How can they be ice capsule going at the same rate or at the same path that John Glenn's craft was heading to? This is by Anne Shrivastava on Infinity Explorers. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.